The Kansas City Royals have been one of the most disappointing teams so far in 2026. Coming into the season, many fans and analysts predicted the Royals to take another step and basically run away with a weaker AL Central. About halfway through the season, that's nowhere near the case, as the Royals sit 15 games below 500 and are dead last in their division. The struggles begin with the lineup. There are only two players on the Royals with an OPS above 750. AL MVP frontrunner Bobby Witt Jr. and former top prospect Jack Caglione. The rest of the offense has struggled to put up anything close to a formidable threat. Franchise cornerstone Salvador Perez is showing his age with negative 1.1 WAR and a 570 OPS through 77 games. Power hitting first baseman Vinny Pasquantino has also been disappointing with only 10 homers on the season and a 660 OPS. On the mound, injuries have plagued the starting pitching staff. Kris Bubic went down on May 15th with left elbow soreness. However, he suffered a setback in a rehab start in early June, which has led him to miss about 6 weeks so far. Cole Ragans, who only pitched 61 innings last season due to injury, has been out since the first week of May with an elbow injury. Last week, Royals manager Jalen Thompson said Ragans would likely need surgery. Not a very promising update for the 28-year-old who's already been through Tommy John surgery twice in his short career. With one of the top 5 position players in the league locked up long term, Kansas City needs to act quickly if they're going to field a team to maximize Witt's prime. Otherwise, they risk becoming another franchise that failed to capitalize on a young phenom due to front office incompetency. What is up, guys? Welcome on back into the channel. I'm Brandon Satterwhite, and today we're doing the Kansas City Royals rebuild here in MLB The Show 26. Royals have been, like I said in the intro, a disappointing team this year. You know, like a lot of people were expecting them to kind of, run away with the AL Central. Maybe the Tigers competing, with Scooble and their pitching and stuff. But a lot of people were picking the Royals to win the division this year, and they've just been awful. They got off to a real slow start. They kind of started to fight back a little bit, but then the last month or so has just been awful. They've been plagued with injuries. Which really sucks. Bobby Witt Jr. does look like he might win, his first AL MVP this year due to the injury to Aaron Judge, but it does suck that he'll probably do it on a last place team. It's just been a rough year for the Royals. A lot of people were thinking this was the year they kind of take that next step, and it just hasn't been. So we're going to hop in and see if we can get things back on track. This is going to be a bit of a longer rebuild. I have, heard y'all's feedback about the 3-year rebuild kind of being a bit too short. So I think from now on, I'm going to go at least 4 or 5 seasons in these rebuild videos, try to get them a little bit longer, make it to where, we actually see some of the prospects that we draft come up and, be a part of the team. I realize that hasn't really happened much in the previous video. So hopefully, that these longer videos, help out a little bit more and also help, hold y'all over, because recently, I haven't been able to put out as many videos. I know the time between videos has kind of gotten a bit longer, so I apologize for that. Had some personal stuff going on. But with all that out of the way, y'all, if y'all like these rebuilds, make sure to leave this video a like. It helps out with the algorithm. It helps the channel grow. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future content. We've got a lot of stuff coming up, especially with Backyard Baseball and eBaseball Pro Spirits, the Japanese baseball game coming out. We're going to have content on both of those here on the channel, so make sure y'all subscribe. But let's go ahead and hop into the Royals rebuild. Taking a look at the roster here, and of course the whole roster kind of revolves around 99 overall, 25-year-old Bobby Witt Jr., top 5 position player in all of baseball. I mean, you look at his stats, incredible speed, incredible fielding at shortstop, incredible contact clutch, power is really good too. He's hit 30 home runs in back-to-back seasons in 23 and 24. Power numbers went down a little bit in 2025, but he was still really amazing. Had an MVP 2 season in 2024. Already, over 17 WAR through, basically 3 seasons in the bigs, or actually 4 seasons. He's locked up long term. 26 mil for a 99 overall player is not that much, especially now you're seeing guys making 40 upwards of $50 million. It's insane that he's locked up this cheaply for this long. So we really need to capitalize on having that value there. Looking at the pitching staff, you do have guys, and of course their ratings have gone down a lot since, the game came out. Now we're down to 383s across the board with Kris Bubic, who, is pretty good. He always gets traded or is a free or gets signed as a free agent in this. But, he has struggled, with staying healthy. He's injured right now as well, which kind of sucks. He is a free agent after this year, so if he doesn't pitch well, we may look to move on from him, especially depending on how much money he wants to stay here long term. We also have Seth Lugo, who's 36. He's aging. He's probably going to regress heavily after this first season, I imagine. We'll see what we can get out of him before he decides, to not be good anymore. We are paying him $23 million a year this year and next year, so might look to offload him at the deadline so we don't have to pay $23 million next year. We do have Cole Reagans, who was really, really good back in 2024 for Kansas City, had a breakout year that year. Last year was injured, wasn't pitching well. This year, also injured, not pitching well. Really sucks to see. We've got a couple more years of team control after this season, but he also, is a popular free agent in the later seasons, also a popular trade target, so we may get some trade offers for him. We'll see how those come. We also have Noah Cameron, who, has some pretty decent stats, only 26 years old, could develop into something really, really nice here. We do have him under team control basically throughout this entire rebuild, which is nice to see. We also have Michael Wacha, who's doing really well in real life right now. Like, he's kind of leading the Royals pitching staff due to all the injuries and such. He's had, really consistent numbers the last, 3 or 4 seasons in terms of innings pitched, strikeouts, ERA. So nice to see that for him. He's making $17 million a year for 3 seasons here at 34 years old. Hopefully he pitches well. Otherwise, we will look to offload him. We do have some younger guys like Avila here. Maybe he develops into something at 24 years old. We'll see. We do have a top prospect in Chirrillo here. He's our number 3 prospect, top 100 prospect there. B potential at 18 years old. We'll see if he develops into anything. In the bullpen, we do have Matt Strom, who's really, really good. Always does well in simulation here. He is 34, so, he's going to age. He's going to regress a little bit. We'll just see how long he's able to hold that rating. Outside of him, the bullpen isn't great, really. So definitely going to be looking for some more bullpen pieces. It's kind of a theme throughout a lot of these rebuilds. The bullpens just aren't really rated that well. And then we do have 2 really good closers in Lucas Erceg and Carlos Estevez. So one of them will be a closer. The other will probably be a setup guy. At catcher, you do have the franchise cornerstone in Salvador Perez, who is playing horribly in real life this year at 35 years old. He's kind of become the DH because his fielding hasn't been as good. And also because they want Carter Jensen to be out there every day. Former 3rd round pick, number 1 prospect for him. Really good hitter. Decent fielder. We're probably going to have Perez be the DH at least this season, and then beyond that, I'm not sure how much we're willing to commit to him, depending on how he plays. We also do have Blake Mitchell at 21 years old. He's going to start off in the minors. He's our number 2 prospect. Hopefully he can develop and be all right. He can also play first if we need him to. Jensen doesn't have any secondary position, sadly. Over at first, we have Vinny Pasquantino, another popular trade candidate in simulation. He usually develops pretty well in simulation. Again, the ratings have been changed a little bit, so I'm not sure how he'll do now, but 28 years old, 82 overall. If he can, just hit decently, over at first, I'll be okay with that. We've got him under team control pretty cheap for at least a couple more seasons before we have to decide if we want to give him a big contract or not. Second base is definitely a position we need to address. Not a whole lot here with Michael Massey and Jonathan India. At least we need, a decent fielder, which Massey is. Pretty good contact. The speed isn't there, though. I would like a little more speed if I'm going to have, a contact hitter like him. But I think second base is a position we could easily address, especially with some of the free agents that come up in the first year or two. Over at third, one of my favorite players in Major League Baseball right now is Maikel Garcia. I think he's really good. I love how he's developed. Good speed, good base stealer, great fielder over at third, can play a whole bunch of different positions. I think he's really, really good. He does well in simulation, so he's someone I really want here long term. He's cheap, only $11.5 million through 2030, so basically this whole rebuild, he's going to be cheap. So we've got third base locked up. Don't need to worry about that. We already talked about Bobby Witt over at short. The outfield is an area of definite concern. Isaac Collins has been horrible in left for the Royals this year. He has negative WAR, an awful OPS. He's probably going to be our starting left fielder throughout this, at least for this season. And yeah, there's just not much else here that we can really do. Out in center, you do have Kyle Isbell, who usually does all right in simulation. Decent contact, really good fielder, good speed. You do have Lane Thomas as well, former Washington National. Yeah, I don't know. Not a great fielder. Does have decent speed, a really good arm. Bat really isn't there anymore. And then out and right, you do have Starling Marte at 37 years old, who's been playing a lot for the Royals this year due to injuries. And then you have Jack Caglione, who, former top prospect. I actually got to go see him play when he was in Double-A, because the Royals Double-A team is in Northwest Arkansas. So for my birthday last year, we drove up and I got to see him play while he was, here in Arkansas. The game actually got rained out in the 5th inning, but I got to see him in, I think, 2 or 3 at-bats, and I think his first at-bat, he hit one, and I was sure that it was gone, but it hit right off the top of the wall for a double. But that was really cool to see. He's doing really good in the big leagues right now. His second season, kind of struggled his first year, didn't really do well, kind of went up and down a little bit. This year he's doing well. He actually leads the team in homers at this point in the season, so it's nice to see him kind of starting to take off. The numbers don't really reflect that here, only a 71 overall still, but 23 years old, beat potential. I think he's going to do very well. But that is the roster, and yeah, so let's go ahead and get things going and see how we do here in Season 1. All right, lineup going into Season 1, we're going to have Mike Garcia over at third, leading off, then Bobby Witt Jr. at short, bats second, Vinny Pasquantino over at first, bats third, Salvador Perez is the DH, cleans up, then Carter Jensen at catcher, bats fifth, Jack Caglione out and right, bats sixth, Isaac Collins in left, bats seventh, Kyle Isbell in center, bats eighth, and then Michael Massey at second, bats ninth, and then against the lefties, it changes up just a little bit. Massey moves up to fifth, and then Jensen moves down to 8, and Isbell moves down to 9. On the bench, we've got Starling Marte, Lane Thomas, Nick Lofton, and Jonathan India. Pitching rotation, we're going to have Cole Reagans, Chris Bubich, Seth Lugo, Michael Waka, and Noah Cameron as the rotation this year. And then here's what our bullpen looks like. Honestly, not awful. I do think we're going to use Urseg as the closer instead of Strom. But yeah, let's go ahead and start simulating and see how we do. All right, midway point of Season 1, we're currently leading the AL Central by 1 game, so very much overperforming based on our rankings. Let's go check out the All-Star teams and see if any of our guys made it this year. And so Parker Messick of the Guardians, 25 years old, actually is getting the start as a ERA under 2. Very impressive. Let's see, any of our guys here? I don't see any of our pitchers, which is interesting because I believe Bubich is having a really good year. Bobby Witt is starting at shortstop. That's to be expected. Ooh, Ben Rice has 29 home runs already this year. Good grief. Michael Garcia is actually starting over at third. He's having a very good season. 25 doubles, 14 homers, 305 average, 874 OPS. So nice to see him getting some love. Salvador Perez is starting at catcher. He's been our DH this year. He's doing all right. 16 homers. Does have an OPS below 700. I guess the catchers in the AL just in general aren't good this year. Interesting to see him getting an all-star. That's his first. Actually, he's made several all-star, but his first since 2024, so he missed in 25. Interesting. So quite a few. We got 3 guys in the lineup for the all-star game. That's cool to see. Taking a look at the team here, guys are doing pretty good. Bobby Witt got off to a little bit of a slow start, but he's kind of bounced back now. Carter Jensen starting to kind of come around. Jack Caglione starting to find it. Got his OPS above 700. Isaac Collins, OPS hovering around 600, isn't good. Kyle Isbell hasn't been great. And then Michael Massey, also not good. So the bottom part of this lineup has just been bad. We actually might make a move at second. I think we're going to. And put in Jonathan India at second base to see if that helps us at all. And then in center, we could try and see if Lane Thomas does any better. I think we're just going to go with Jonathan India there at second and see if that change helps us at all. I've been keeping an eye on the trade block. There's really not much here outside of Mike Trout, which I don't really want to be locked into that contract long term. So I really think we're just going to kind of stick with what we have right now and go from here. There is Kyle Schwarber, but I mean, I feel pretty good about the team we have right now, at least for year 1. Let's go ahead and simulate the rest of the season and see how we do. All right, taking a quick look at our draft picks here. In a pretty good draft, we didn't get to sign our second pick, who is a really good looking third baseman. Had a hell of a bat. We got this guy with the 6th overall pick, already a 71 overall at 19 years old, 87 potential. I really like great fielding, great arm. I think the bat's going to come along nicely. We got 3 really good starters, including one with 97 potential. Really like that. We also got a closer who's already 70 overall at 18 years old with 80 potential. Hopefully the control and the clutch can come along a little bit after a year or so in the minors. And then this reliever we picked with our last pick, we also were unable to get to sign with us. Also, I did go ahead and throw a couple of extensions out. I signed Kris Bubic to a long-term extension. He's going to be making $26 million a year for the next 5 seasons. He got off to a slow start, but he has been phenomenal this year. 127 innings, 103 strikeouts, a 3.04 ERA. So that's really good to see. I also signed Matt Strahm to an extension. He's been phenomenal out of the pen this year. 47 innings, a 1.51 ERA. He's going to be making $5.8 million a year. I extended the contract out a little bit to try and, make the per year a little bit shorter or a little bit cheaper. So if, he starts regressing and not playing well, we can just, either hide him in the minors or try and trade that contract. But 5.8 mil, I don't think is going to kill us at this point. So I think from there's no one else I'm really interested in signing long term. Lucas Erceg's been all right this year. Definitely better in the second half than he was the first month or so. Outside of that, I don't really plan on signing any of these guys long term. So let's just go ahead and sim to the end of the season and see how we do. All right, so in season 1 of this rebuild, we won 92 games. We won the AL Central. We'll be taking on the Blue Jays in the playoffs. We will be facing them in the wild card. We are the 3 seed, so we just missed out on getting that first round bye. Let's go take a look and see how the team did this year. Maikel Garcia was an all-star this year. Played 153 games over there at third. 38 doubles, 6 triples, 25 homers, 69 RBIs, also 35 stolen bases, a 295 average, 868 OPS, put up 6.7 WAR. Got his second all-star appearance. Did not get a Gold Glove this year, though. Bobby Witt Jr. at short. Again, the power number's a bit low. Did play all 162. 52 doubles is really cool to see, but only 25 homers, 97 RBIs, 25 stolen bases, a 275 average. The on base was down a good bit, only a 319 on base. So the OPS was down to 802. Still put up 5.3 WAR. Was an all-star this year. Yeah, the power number is going down a little bit, which I actually don't like to see from him. Vinny Pasquantino went up from an 82 to an 84. Played 148 games, only 22 homers. Again, not what I want to see out of him. A 761 OPS, 1.9 WAR over at first. A bit of a disappointing season for Pasquantino. I'm not gonna lie, that's disappointing there. Salvador Perez actually kind of surprised me. Had a 709 OPS, played all 162 games as our DH. 24 doubles, 26 homers, a 253 average, 710 OPS, 1.3 WAR. Also got another All-Star appearance this year. Carter Jensen had a pretty decent season. Went up from a 76 to a 79. Played all 162 at catcher. 36 doubles, 19 homers, a 252 average, 722 OPS, 3.3 WAR behind the plate. Jack Caglione had a decent season. Went up from 71 to a 75. Played 142 games, 16 doubles, 20 homers, a 225 average, 657 OPS. Actually put up negative WAR this year, which is not good to see. Isaac Collins went up from a 73 to a 76. His power numbers actually went up a good bit. Played 139 games, 16 homers, a 664 OPS, 1.3 WAR out and left. Kyle Isbell, all pretty similar, a 617 OPS in 140 something games, 1.6 WAR out in center. And then Jonathan India actually played like pretty good. Went up from a 71 to a 75. Played in only 63 games, but hit 15 homers at a 975 OPS, 2.4 WAR. That is insane. So do we give him another year over at second base? 15 homers in only 60 games. That's crazy. Looking at the rotation, Cole Reagans had a really good season, had 10 wins on the year, 171 innings, 174 strikeouts, 3.58 ERA, 2.7 WAR. Kris Bubic had a pretty good season as well, 12 wins, 176 innings, 146 Ks, a 3.43 ERA, 1.6 WAR. Seth Lugo had a really good year, 189 innings, an ERA under 3. Michael Wacha did all right, 177 innings, a 3.81 ERA, and then Noah Cameron also really good season, 182 innings, a 2.86 ERA, awesome to see. Stephen Kolek was great as the long reliever, and then overall looks like the bullpen did pretty good. Strahm was phenomenal, Estevez was great, Erceg was all right. League leaders, Bobby Witt led the league in doubles, and then Maikel Garcia led in stolen bases. Awards, Mike Trout actually gets an MVP award at 34 years old. That is his 4th MVP award and his first since 2019. And then Scooble gets the AL Cy Young again. Maikel Garcia just barely got beat out by Colt Keith for the Gold Glove over at third. Isaac Collins missed out on the Gold Glove in left. Kyle Isbell missed out on the Gold Glove in center. But quite a few guys that almost got a gold glove. Let's go ahead and see how we do here in the playoffs. We've got a 3-game set against the Blue Jays at home. Cole Reagans against Kevin Gossman for game 1. We lose that one, so on the brink of elimination already here. Chris Bubich against Dylan Cease. We win 4-1, so going to a deciding game 3. Seth Lugo against Trey Yesevich. We win it 10-0. Just like that, we're going to be taking on the Yankees here. We're going to have Cole Reagans on the bump here against Max Fried in game 1. We win it 3-1. Chris Bubich against Cam Schlittler in game 2. We win 7-2. So one win away from already going to the ALCS. Seth Lugo against Garrett Cole. We lose 4-7. Now Cole Reagans going up against Carlos Rodon in game 4. We lose 4-6. So going back to New York for game 5. Chris Bubich against Max Fried, and we win it to avoid blowing the lead. We're going to move on and face Houston in the ALCS. Because of the short turnaround, we're going to have to throw Seth Lugo in game 1 against Tatsuya Imai, and we lose 10-3 there. Now Cole Reagans back on the bump here against Eduardo Rodriguez. We lose 13-3, so we're getting killed in this series so far. Chris Bubich against Hunter Brown. We win 20-1. Good grief. Save some of those runs for the rest of this series. Seth Lugo against Tatsuya Imai. Again, we lose 9-11. Now Cole Reagans against Ronald Blanco to try and avoid elimination. We win 10-8 going back home, trying to complete the 3-1 comeback. Chris Bubich against Hunter Brown. We lose 9-1. So we lose to the Houston Astros in the ALCS in 6 games in year 1. Honestly, we got a lot farther than I thought we would, as the Astros go on to beat the Brewers in the World Series. So did a lot better than I honestly thought we were going to, as Max Scherzer and Verlander go into the Hall of Fame. Let's see. Do we want to bring Jonathan India back? He had a huge jump up. He wants about $10 million a year. Honestly, interested, but I also kind of want someone better at second if I'm going to spend money there. We do have to basically hire a whole new coaching staff because a ton of people retired. Let's see if we can get Dave Roberts as our manager. They get a brand new pitching coach, which sucks because I just hired a really good one. There's a lot of really good ones here. None of them boost control, which kind of sucks. Then I also need a new farm director. So we got a decent pitching coach and we got a really good farm director. Dave Roberts went back to the Dodgers, so I'm looking for better manager. There we go, we got one. And we got a pretty good one, +2 power clutch and then 1 for pitching clutch and speed. So not honestly a bad manager to have. All right, contract decision incoming for the one like big free agent I'm kind of going after this offseason. It's mainly to try and shore up the worst spot on our team, and we're not gonna get him. I really wanted Brandon Lau. Instead, he goes to the Yankees, 3 years, $20 million. I think I was offering him like 3 years, $19 million. So they just barely beat us out there for him. Contract decision incoming for Trent Grisham, and we do get him. So that's a big boost to help out in center field. 5 years, only $16 million a year, which isn't bad. So that kind of covers center field for us. And now we'll see if we can get Jonathan India back just to cover second base for this season. And he does come back 2 years, $9.8 million a year. So that kind of takes up most of our remaining budget, really. Actually, we still have about $31 million to spend. So, I mean, we could go after Jazz, who's wanting about $23 million a year. There's Ian Happ. There's Glaber. I don't know. We'll see what Glaber thinks of coming to Kansas City. I don't think he'll want to come here, though. And no, he doesn't, and it's now or never. He wants 5 years at 30 years old. Like, he had a good season, 30 homers, 867 OPS, 5.1 WAR. I'll bump this up to about 16 mil and see if he wants to come here. I doubt he will. And no, he ends up going somewhere else. Where does he end up going? Does he go back to the Tigers? No, he goes to Seattle. Okay. They gave him 7 years, 16 mil. Okay. So at this point, our weaknesses, we have right field is going to be Jack. Like, I'm not giving up on Caglione yet. Left field, I don't want to give Isaac Collins another year. 29 years old, switch hitter, you know, good fielder. The power numbers went up a good bit this year. I don't want to give him another shot and just see, and also give the guys we drafted another year to develop down in the minors before bringing them up. I also kind of want to see what happens with India and Pascantino, because if India plays like he did last year for a full season, that'll be awesome. Also with Pascantino, if he plays, you know, like he did last year again, then he's a free agent. We probably look to move him at the deadline. Carter Jensen's just going to continue to get better. So is Blake Mitchell. Salvador Perez regressed a little bit, but still played really well as our DH. So I'm kind of thinking we kind of stay put with where we're at. Noah Cameron went up a good bit. He had a really good season. I think we kind of run it back, give our guys some more time down in the minors to develop. develop and go from there. I know we still have 30 mil that we can spend, but it's like, where are we going to throw that money at this point? So I don't really see anything I love. I kind of want to keep some flexibility. Let's see what's on the trade block. Is there anything? There's Joe Ryan, who doesn't have a contract. He's under arbitration this year. There's Mason Miller. Bryce Harper's on the trade block. Mike Trout, who just won AL MVP. Pete Alonso, Nick Pivetta, Brandon Nimmo. A lot of guys on the block right now. What about second base? There's Bryson Stott, who just had a really good season. Tommy Edman, and then not much else really. Cole Young, 23, B. Penchel. I mean, he'd be interesting, and we'd have him under team control, so he'd be cheap for a while. What do they want? Shortstop, left field, or right field? Those are positions I don't have, and they're also already over budget, so yeah. I think we just run it back and see, you know, we were already in the ALCS this last year. We did, you know, add Trent Grisham, which I think is going to help in center field. It's going to boost the offense from the outfield, and I think guys are going to get better, so let's just run it back. All right, lineup going into season 2, it's the same against righties and lefties. Maikel Garcia again leads off playing third, then Bobby Witt at short bats second, Pasquantino at third bats third, or at first bats third. Then Salvador Perez as the DH cleans up. Trent Grisham in center bats fifth, Carter Jensen behind the plate bats sixth, Jonathan India over at second bats seventh, and then Jack Caglione in right bats eighth, Isaac Collins in left bats ninth. Rotation for the year, it's Reagans, Bubich, Michael Wacha, or actually Cameron, then Lugo, and then Wacha. And then here's what the bullpen looks like. Very similar to last year, only this year going to have Estevez be the closer instead of Urseg. Actually, Urseg had 51 saves last year, so we'll let him be the closer again. Let's go ahead and start simulating and see how we do here in Season 2. All right, midway point of Season 2. Let's go ahead and hop into the All-Star game, see if any of our guys made it. Eric Crochet getting the start for the AL. Max Fried and Cam Schlittler both here from the Yankees. Lucas Urseg's here. Okay. From an 82 to an 83. Has 28 saves already on the year, a 2.38 ERA, so he's doing very well. Carlos Estevez is also here, even though he is regressing a little bit. Has 27 Ks through 42 innings, a 1.28 ERA, so very good reliever there. So two relievers there are starting. Brandon Lau, who we wanted in the offseason, but went to the Yankees. He's having a great year. Dang, wish we could have gotten him. Bobby Witt Jr. is starting at short again. He's having a much better season this year in terms of hitting for power. Already 25 homers, which is more than he's hit in either of the last 2 seasons. Yeah, the power number is definitely starting to go up. Is very, very nice. Also, Salvador Perez, back-to-back All-Star game appearances at 35 and 36 years old. Has a 717 OPS, already 20 homers on the season, so he's doing pretty good as a DH. And then Maikel Garcia is on the bench. He regressed a little bit, down to an 86 at 27 years old. Not playing as well as he did last year, it seems, but still a pretty good season. So that's 5 guys made the All-Star team this year, which is really good to see. We're 8 games up in the AL Central, so kind of running away with it already this year. Taking a look at the lineup, things are going pretty good. Vinny's still not really hitting the homers that I was hoping for, so that's a little disappointing. Trent Grisham was a great pickup. He's doing good. Jonathan India's doing all right. Jack Caglione, man, just not, you know, putting up the numbers that he is in real life, you know, has a OPS right around 600. If he doesn't really figure it out, we may be looking for a new right fielder in the offseason, I think. But looking at our rotation, like, it is very, very... Seth Lugo has regressed from a 77 to a 69 at age 37. Michael Wacha is still at a 76, but Reagans hasn't been good. Bubich has been bad after we gave him that contract. Noah Cameron's really the only one doing good. I think we're going to let Kolek become a full-time starter and go into the bullpen. And honestly, like, there's some guys on the block that we could go after. Nick Lodolo's here. What's his situation like? He's a free agent after this year, but he's, you know, jumped up a good bit. There's Corbin Burns. He's expensive, though. Soriano's all right. I kind of like Nick Lodolo or Joe Ryan. I know Joe Ryan's also a free agent after this year, so we would have to pay him a big bag. I'm curious who the Reds would want. See if we give them, like, these 3 outfielders I don't really want. Would they give us Nick Lodolo? I doubt they will, but we'll see. So they're giving me an offer. They'll give me Nick Lodolo, Key Brian Hayes, and Ivan Johnson, but they want 2 of my top prospects, which I am not giving up. So, no, I am not doing that. And they rejected that trade, and it's the deadline, so we're kind of already past what we can do. But, I mean, we're 12 games above 500. We're 7 up in the division. I think we're good, and we'll just move on from here. Taking a look at our draft picks this year, we did get a really good left fielder in the first round, 89 potential, 66 overall. Incredible bat. Incredible contact hitter, great fielder. The power's not there, but I don't really care. He's very much like a Stephen Kwan type build. The starter I took was not very good. This other starter's all right, 69 overall, 84 potential. So not a great draft class, but we did get our top guy that we were wanting, which is good. I say we just simulate the rest of the season, see how we do here to end out season 2. Okay, so the team really kind of fell apart in the second half of the season. We only won 83 games. Thankfully, we're in the AL Central, which was really weak. We still won our division, and we are the 3 seed in the American League. Yeah, looking at it, we ended up only winning it by 3 games. We were like 12 up above 500 when we were at the All-Star break. So yeah, the second half of the season was just very, very rough on us. Go take a look at the lineup, see how everyone did. Michael Garcia, another really good year for him, 144 games over at third, 28 doubles, 25 homers, 79 RBIs, 38 stolen bases, a 299 average, 869 OPS, 6.7 WAR. Another All-Star appearance for him this year. Bobby Witt Jr., phenomenal year. Good grief. Look at these numbers. 157 games, 47 doubles, 8 triples, 46 homers, 133 RBIs, 23 stolen bases, 297 average, 967 OPS, and 9.8 WAR. Did he win his first MVP award? He did not. He got another Silver Slugger and he got another All-Star appearance, but that apparently wasn't enough to win an AL MVP. Vinny Pasquantino went from an 84 to an 88, so the numbers went up a good bit. At least his ratings did, but the numbers actually seem to have gone down. He did have more homers this year, but the average was a big drop off. The on base percentage was down, OPS was down. He had negative WAR over at first, so I don't know if we're going to end up bringing him back. Salvador Perez at 36 years old actually had a decent season, 162 games, 31 homers, a 633 OPS, put up negative WAR, but was an all-star again. Trent Grisham proved to be a really good pickup for us this year, went up from a 79 to an 83 at 30 years old. Played 140 games, 17 doubles, 32 homers, 76 RBIs, a 254 average, 815 OPS, 4.6 WAR out in center. Carter Jensen had another decent season, went up from a 79 to an 83, so he's continuing to progress. 162 games, a 244 average, 681 OPS, and 2 WAR on the year. Jonathan India was all right, went up from a 75 to a 77, 145 games, 31 doubles, 15 homers, a 250 average, 321 on base, 742 OPS, 0.7 WAR. Isaac Collins out and left, honestly not bad. Went up to a 78, 141 games, 25 doubles, a 288 average, and a 779 OPS. Put up 3.6 WAR out and left and won a Gold Glove. So he might be someone we keep around a little bit longer. Meanwhile, Jack Caglione, despite going up from a 75 to a 77, had an awful year. 143 games, only 18 homers, had a 620 OPS, negative 3.6 WAR out and right. I mean, at this point, we just kind of have to move on from him. He's just killing us out and right. So we're going to be looking for a new right fielder after this season. And looking at the rotation, man, everyone was bad. Cole Reagans, 4.5 ERA. Chris Bubich, a 4.8 ERA. Noah Cameron was good. Kolek was good. He spent most of the year in the pen, made 10 starts near the end of the season. Walker was bad. Alec Marsh comes up as the long reliever because I'm guessing Lugo got sent down. The bullpen was pretty good. I like how it looks. Urseg had another really good season, 41 saves for us. Strom's still doing good, even though he's regressed down to a 74. Estevez was really good. So yeah, we got Houston, 3-game set here at home in the wildcard round. Cole Reagans against Hunter Brown. We don't have 2 valid lineups. So 3-game set against Houston here at home. Cole Reagans against Hunter Brown in game 1. We lose 8-2. Now Chris Bubich against Kevin Gausman in game 2. And there we go. We get swept by the Astros, who knocked us out last year as well in the postseason, and the Dodgers go on to beat the Yankees in the World Series. And Seth Lugo does end up retiring after dropping 10 overall points, which really sucks because he was so good for us in 2026. I think he would have been a free agent this year anyway at this point. Kenley Jansen and Goldschmidt both go into the Hall of Fame. Again, our manager and farm director both retired, so we have to get new ones again. Free agent negotiations, I would like Estevez back. He wants 1 year, through 1 year, $9 million. Kyle Isbell, how much does he want to be a backup? He wants $12 million. I'm not paying him that. Salvi, I think at this point we kind of have to move on from Salvi. I mean, we'll bring him back as the backup catcher, but he's not going to be our DH anymore. Nick Mears was all right as a reliever. He wants $6 million. I'm not giving him that. Looking at the team here going into free agency, we definitely need the right fielder. Although I do think Victor Pereira, our first round pick in year 1, is probably going to start in the big leagues, I think, this year. I think he's 74 overall, 20 years old. I think it's time. He could probably play right for us. Trent Grisham can only play center, so he might be our starting right fielder unless we just find someone amazing. I would also like another really good starter or two just because Ragans and Bubic were bad this year. I think Cameron's going to be all right. But with Waka and Lugo gone, we do need to replace them. India, I mean, this wasn't bad, especially for what we're paying him. But we'll see what options are out there. Pascantino, I mean, he's an 88 overall. The ratings are great. It's just, honestly, I would kind of like to move him to DH because his fielding is so bad. And he commits so many errors. I'd like to move him to DH and get a better first baseman. And then I'm okay with the bullpen, I think, at this point, as long as we get Estevez back. So let's do, I want better first baseman, I want right field, and then I need a starter. Need power and power pitcher. And there's Joe Ryan. I mean, he was darn good this year. Also Mackenzie Gore, who was really good. Zach Wheeler, who was really good at 37 years old. Nick Lodolo. I like Mackenzie Gore. At first base, there's Christian Walker, who's a pretty good fielder. Also would add, 30 homers to the lineup, but he's 36. Gavin Sheets, who doesn't really have as much power, it seems, but is a good fielder. Has really good vision. 315 on base is good. Andrew Vaughn, Luis Garcia. There's Freddie Freeman, who, I mean, even at 38 is still playing very well. Just past 400 career homers. Had a 300 average again this year. Yandy Diaz is here. I think we'll throw Gavin Sheets on the board. And then in right, there's Seiya. Ryan O'Hearn is here. He's always a pretty good bet. Even as he ages, he does pretty good. Do I want to spend 30 mil on Seiya or let my rookie do it? Let the rookie play right field. Jock Peterson had a good year. 30 homers. Interesting. I think we throw another starter like Lodolo on there and then see how they look. Okay, so Mackenzie Gore is definitely interested in coming here. He's 29. I'll give him 6 years, 32 mil, and see if he'll sign. And then Lodolo's not going to come here, so we might as well go ahead and take him off and see if we can find someone else. Like DeGrom, he's aging so much, I don't really feel comfortable giving him a contract. Reynaldo Lopez is here. Had a really good year, though he is regressing, but he had a good year. Zach Eflin's here. He had a phenomenal season, though he only pitched 15 games. All right, contract decision incoming for Mackenzie Gore. We can get him, a rotation of Gore, Ragans, and Bubic, if Ragans and Bubic actually play like they're supposed to. Would be really, really good. He's not quite ready to sign yet. I bet he will soon. Freddie Freeman is interested in coming here. We'll leave him on the board for now, and I'll bump this up a little bit for Mackenzie Gore, see if we can get him. Contract decision incoming for Mackenzie Gore. Hopefully this is it and we can get him. There we go. We got Mackenzie Gore. Okay, so we've got a really good starter to add to the rotation. So, I mean, a 3-man rotation in the playoffs of Gore, Ragans, and Bubic, if Ragans and Bubic can find their stuff this year, feels pretty good. I am going to throw a deal at Gavin Sheets and see if he'll accept this. 5 years, 12 mil a year. And he does. So we've got Gavin Sheets to play first. We'll move Pascantino to DH. So that means we can take Freddie Freeman off our board. Now, main thing, for some reason, has Gavin Sheets out in the left. He's going to play first. He's not going to play outfield. Isaac Collins will be back in the left, and we'll probably have Victor Pereira play right. Yeah, and then I think the only other thing is maybe second, but we'll see how India does. He had a good season. I'm happy with 31 doubles and a 320 on base. Like, I'm good with that. I'll look and see what's left out here. I mean, there's Seiya Suzuki. An 888 OPS is good. Like, that's good. But I do want my prospect to come up and play. I know we still got 38 mil in budget to use. I mean, second base really doesn't have a whole lot. There's Ozzie Albies, who actually looks pretty good. He wants 16.5 mil a year. I think we're going to stick with what we have now and just move on to next season. All right, lineup going into season 3. It's again the same against righties and lefties. Maikel Garcia leads off at third. Bobby Witt at short bats second. Vinny Pasquantino, now the DH, bats third. Trent Grisham in center cleans up. Isaac Collins in left bats fifth. Gavin Sheets over at first bats sixth. Carter Jensen bats seventh behind the plate. Jonathan India at second bats eighth. And then Victor Pereira, our first ever draft pick in this rebuild, our number 4 prospect, the number 25 prospect in all of baseball, will be making his debut playing right for a 6'4", 234-pound, 20-year-old from the Dominican Republic. Really good vision and clutch, good contact against righties. I'm hoping the power numbers continue to develop. Decent fielder, incredible speed, incredible arm. Really looking forward to how he does out and right. And then here is what the bench looks like. We do have Blake Mitchell making his debut as well. So that'll be interesting to see him as the backup catcher. For the rotation, we've got Mackenzie Gore, Cole Reagans, Chris Bubich, Noah Cameron, and Stephen Kolek. And then here is what our bullpen is looking like. And then we did not get Estevez back, so that is a bit of a big loss for us. But we do still have Urseg, we still have Strom, we still have Daniel Lynch. So a couple of guys that, you know, have been around for a while. Walker's going to be a long reliever, as is Alec Marsh. So we'll see how they do. But let's go ahead and start simulating and see how we do here in season 3. All right, midway point of season 3. Let's hop into the All-Star game, see if any of our guys made it this year. And it actually is at Kauffman this year, so that's pretty cool to see. Ranger Suarez getting the start for the American League. Nick Lodolo's here. We went after him in the offseason. Didn't end up getting him. He went to the Mariners, is doing really well. Lucas Urseg is here, so he's continuing to be a really good closer for us, which is good to see. That's our only pitcher that made it. Marcell Ozuna, at 37 years old, is starting at DH. Wow. CJ Abrams gets the start in Kauffman over Bobby Witt, playing for the Guardians now, so he's in our division now, and he's killing it right now. But Vinny Pasquantino finally showing off the power, already has 30 home runs through 96 games. The average is and on base is still low, but the 808 OPS is nice. He's doing good as the DH, so that's good to see. And then Bobby Witt is coming off the bench, also having a very good season. I mean, OPS near 900, so that's good to see. But those are all of our all-stars here as with the host, and we end up winning it, which is nice. Is there no way to view the box score of the all-star game? It won't let me view the box score, so I can't see if like any of our guys like got the MVP or whatnot. That's dumb. All right, checking out the draft class this year, it was really good. We got this left fielder, 66 overall already. That's 83 potential. Really good bat, good speed, good fielding. We got a starter, 91 potential, 63 overall currently. Another starter with 85 potential, a third baseman with 89 potential, another starter with 95 potential, and then a starter with 86 potential. So some really good starters here. A lot of low overall, so no one that'll probably make it to the bigs probably within the time of this rebuild, I think, even if we do go 5 seasons. So that's a bit disappointing. Cole Reagans, man, I was trying to decide if I wanted to re-sign him. He has a 4.8 ERA this year, man. Like the last 2 years have just not been good. And also Mackenzie Gore has been awful as well. Both of these guys had ERAs above 5 for most of the season, so I really do not like how they've been pitching. But we're still, you know, almost 30 games above 500 even with that, so the lineup has just been killing it. Playing phenomenal. Garcia's great, Witt's great, Pasquantino's finally hitting the ball, Grisham, Collins, Sheets has been amazing, Pereira the rookie has been awesome. India's been all right. He does have 19 homers, which is cool to see. And then Carter Jensen's been really good. So the lineup's been incredible. So let's simulate to the end of the season and see how we do. All right, at the end of season 3, we won 97 games, our best season yet. We won our division for the 3rd year in a row. We'll be taking on the winner of the wild card round. We are the 2 seed in the American League. Go see how everyone did. Maikel Garcia went down 1 to an 86. He is 28 years old. Not as good of a season this year. 146 games, did have 36 doubles, 22 homers, 65 RBI, struck out 107 times, so he's striking out a lot more. Only 26 stolen bases. Yeah, numbers down pretty much across the board for him here. Bobby Witt Jr., another really good season, 153 games, 40 doubles, 5 triples, 36 homers, 99 RBIs, 21 stolen bases, 877 OPS, and 7.1 WAR. Another all-star appearance for him this this year. Manny Pasquantino, man, a phenomenal season. We did go ahead and sign him long term. He's going to be making a little over $14 million a year for the rest of this rebuild. 162 games as the DH, 51 homers, 109 RBIs, an 825 OPS, 1.4 WAR. Was an all-star for the first time this year. Trent Grisham was another really good player this year. Went up 4 overall to an 87, 138 games, 33 doubles, 27 homers, a 294 average, 901 OPS, 7.5 WAR, and he won his 3rd career Gold Glove this year. Isaac Collins, talk about the surprise player of the rebuild. 141 games, 28 doubles, 24 homers, 16 stolen bases, a 760 OPS, puts up 1.9 more out in left. Gavin Sheets was a really good free agent signing. 148 games, 26 homers, 91 RBIs, almost hit 300, a 361 on base, 855 OPS, 3.3 WAR over at first. Victor Pereira as a rookie went up from a 74 to a 79, played 133 games, 26 doubles, 4 triples, 19 homers, 63 RBIs, 14 stolen bases, a 254 average, 781 OPS, 4 WAR as a rookie, and he does win American League Rookie of the Year, which is awesome to see. Jonathan India had a pretty good season, 147 games, 23 homers, 68 RBIs, a 744 OPS, 1.7 WAR over at second. And then Carter Jensen behind the plate went up to an 85 overall, 134 games, 30 doubles, 15 homers, a 707 OPS, and 2.2 WAR behind the plate. Blake Mitchell in his rookie year got into 41 games, 8 homers, a 308 average, 852 OPS as well. Pitching rotation was rough. Mackenzie Gore finally kind of found it in the second half. 13 wins, 11 losses, 181 innings, 181 strikeouts, a 407 ERA. Cole Reagan's 180 innings, 161 strikeouts, 4.29 ERA. We're probably going to let him walk in the offseason just because the ERA has been bad. I know he strikes out a lot of guys, but the ERA has just been bad, and I think I can find someone better. Chris Bubich bounced back this year, 186 innings, 156 Ks, and a 3.28 ERA. Noah Cameron continues to be amazing for us. And then Stephen Kolek, 190 innings on a 3.07 ERA. I will take that every day of the week. Bullpen actually looked pretty darn good. Daniel Lynch was good again. Lucas Erceg was good. Where's everyone else at? I feel like a lot of guys probably dropped. Where's Matt Strom? How old was he this year? He was good. I'm going to put him back on the playoff roster. Jack Caglione this year did really well in the minors. He went up from a 77 to an 82, so he may have earned a shot to come back to the bigs next season. We'll have to wait and see. League leader Stephen Kolek led the league with a 3.07 ERA. And then awards, we had Victor Pereira winning AL Rookie of the Year. Vinny Pasquantino finishes 3rd for AL MVP behind Junior Caminero and Yordan Alvarez. So we are going to be facing the LA Angels in the ALDS. They beat the Rangers in the wild card. They were the 6th seed. So we're going to have Mackenzie Gore against Jackson Jobe here in game 1. We win 9-2. Now Cole Reagan's against Andrew Abbott. We lose 9-4. Chris Bubich against Grayson Rodriguez. We lose 3-2. Noah Cameron against Jose Soriano. We lose 6-5. So end up losing in 4 to the Angels in the divisional round. And the Red Sox go on to beat the Cubs in the World Series. So another disappointing end of the season after, we got to the ALCS the first year. The last 2 years, we haven't been able to even win a playoff series. So very disappointing. We are going to throw the qualifying offer at Reagan's. I doubt he accepts that. He will likely reject that and sign a big contract with someone. Jonathan India wants 11 mil for the next couple of years. We'll probably wait and see what we can get in free agency. Michael Wacha, I think we're going to let go at this point. He wants 10 mil. I'm not paying that with how much he's going to regress. All right, going into free agency here. I'm trying to think of what we could actually do to improve this team. Isaac Collins is actually our left fielder. So I think left field, maybe second base, and then we'll see about if we bring Reagan's back. We do need to find a replacement for him, and then I would like to add another piece or two in the bullpen with Strom and Estevez departing over the last couple of seasons. I think we're going to go starter, second, and then reliever. We need on-base machine, right hand, or power pitching. So there's Buxton, but he can only play center. Like, it'd be awesome to have him, but he doesn't fit what we need right now. There's Gunner. He can't play second, and neither can Bobby. There's Acuna. He can only play right, but we could move Pereira over over to left. Got an 855 OPS last year, a 357 on base. There's Tyler Glasnow. Let's check out the starters. There's Hunter Brown, Glasnow, George Kirby, and Cole Reagans. I think Hunter Brown, we'll throw him on there. Also, Jordan. And there's also CJ Abrams, but he can only play he can't play second. Yeah, Bobby can only play short, so we can't sign anyone to play short. We have to have them move. I'm interested in Acuna. We have about 92 mil to spend. Bill Mayton would be a pretty good reliever to have. He is 35 though, so he's probably going to regress. Tyler Holton might be good. Also, I want to see who can play second. Are there any? There are no good second basemen out here. Good grief. There's Josh Jung, but he can't play second. IKF. I mean, oof. Second base is rough. Honestly, it'd probably be best to bring back Jonathan India. He wants $11 million. I don't really want to give him that. So we could move Isaac Collins. He can play second, and he's been good. We could move him to second, and then move Pereira over to left and let Acuna play right. Let's see how these guys, let's see what they think about coming here, if they're even interested. Okay, so they're all interested. I'll go 7 years, 40 mil for Hunter Brown, and then I'll also throw 8 years, 37 at Acuna, and just see if either of them accepts this week. Contract decision incoming. So I think Hunter Brown is definitely an upgrade over Cole Reagans. Okay, we didn't get this guy, whoever it is. Still available, Hunter Brown. All right, another contract decision incoming here. This is likely Acuna. He also does not sign. Is he still available? No. He signs with the Phillies 9 years, 42 mil a year, way more than what we were offering. So we lose out on that. Cole Reagans has declined the qualifying offer and remains a free agent. Okay, Paul Skeens is on the trade block, as is Ellie, as is Ben Rice. Hunter Green is here, and Bryce Terang. Ooh, do we unload the farm to go after Paul Skeens? I have not traded for Paul Skeens. Let's see. They want young MLB reliever. I don't have any young reliever. Well, I've got Ron Cordova. They want second base. I have nothing at second except for this guy. And then they want right field. I mean, you can have Caglione, and then you can have Juan Quintero, who I just picked in the first round. He's a top 100 prospect. Give me Paul Skeens. And then I'll throw another offer here. We'll do an even 40 mil for 8 years to Hunter Brown. The trade has been rejected. The trade for Paul Skeens was rejected, and we are able to sign Hunter Brown 8 years, 40 mil. So we boost the rotation a good bit, a good improvement over Cole Reagans, I feel. Paul Skeens is here, and I really, really want to trade for him. So I will give Pollock, I will give Churrillo, who's a really good prospect. I will give Cordova, and I will give Caglione. If this doesn't work, I may offer something similar for Hunter Green or Terang. That trade is rejected. They want a lot for Paul Skeens, which makes sense. What about Hunter Green? I'm going to add him to our targets. Young MLB. I mean, you could have Blake Mitchell, and there's Dalton Norton, and in left field you could have Nick Lofton and Drew Waters. A counter with Blake Mitchell and Dalton. Weren't these two guys already part of this trade offer? I will accept that. So now we have Hunter Green as well, and we still have a lot of pieces we could go get Bryce Terang. They want young MLB. I don't have catcher to offer. First base, you can have Chris Ward. Third base, I don't have anything to really offer. I'm willing to give up Jack Caglianone. I'm willing to give up Juan Quintero. Rejected. Does not line with our plans. There's also Xavier Edwards, who steals a ton of bases, has an 825 OPS, put up 3.9 WAR. There's also Brandon Lowe. He's on the trade block. What do the Yankees want for him? Young MLB starter. And I can give you Avila and Cardona? I don't know. All right, so we get Tyler Holton on a 8.4 mil 1-year deal, 81 overall. That's a good boost. And we get the trade to go through for Brandon Lowe. We send him to starters that weren't actually going to pitch for us this year, and we do send Jack Caglianone. So hate to see him go. You know, he had a good year down in the minors. I really thought, you know, he might be a piece of this, but I mean, getting a second baseman that hit 36 homers last year, I know he's regressing. He's old. He's 34, but that's a big improvement over Jonathan India, I think, at this point. And then as soon as we trade for Brandon Lowe, the Yankees go out and sign both Tyler Glasnow and Byron Buxton. So the Yankees being the Yankees have about 15 mil left we could spend. Edwin Edwin Diaz is here. That would be fun. We're also able to sign Jose Suarez, so I'm feeling pretty good about the bullpen. I think that's enough moves for this offseason. We really have loaded up going into season 4, so let's go ahead and get there and see what we look like. Okay, so the Yankees have put Jack Caglione on waivers, who we just traded for Brandon Lowe, so we can get him back if we want, which I think is really cool. Basically, we gave up nothing for Brandon Lowe at that point then. Team's looking good going into this season. All right, lineup going into season 4. Trent Grisham is going to move into the leadoff slot with his like 380 on base percentage. Then we've got Bobby Witt at short, Vinny Pasquantino is the DH, Brandon Lowe over at second, Michael Garcia at third, Gavin Sheets at first, Carter Jensen is the catcher, Isaac Collins in left, Victor Pereira out in right. Rotation is going to be Hunter Brown, Hunter Green, Mackenzie Gore, Chris Bubich, and Noah Cameron. Incredibly expensive rotation. Hunter Green is a free agent after this year. He's only making 8.8 mils. So that's the only reason we're able to really have him on this rotation. Yeah, here's what the rest of it looks like. So hopefully the bullpen does all right, and then the lineup just does what we expect. But let's go ahead and simulate and see how we do here in season 4. All right, midway point of season 4. Let's check out our all-stars for this season. And Tarek Skubal, it looks like, is back on the bump for the American League now with the Blue Jays. He's been doing pretty good with them. He's having a really, really good career, still at a 99 overall. I don't see any of our pitchers here. Oh, we do have Lucas Urseg, who's still killing it as our reliever. Is an ERA under 2 so far this year, so that's our only pitcher. It's a bit concerning. Now Bobby Witt is back as the starter. He's having another really, really good season. Love to see that. Brandon Lowe's here. Even though he's down to an 85 overall, he already has 32 homers on the year. He's going to pass 300 career homers this season, has a 1. OPS on the season. Michael Garcia is regressing, but he's also still playing very, very well, hitting 311, 942 OPS so far on the year. And those are all of our all-stars. Yeah, overall, the lineup is doing very well. Very happy with how it's been looking. And then the rotation, Hunter Brown, not good. Hunter Green, not good. Kenzie Gore, all right. Chris Bubich is good. And then Stephen Kolek has not been good. We did move Noah Cameron out to be a long reliever just because, I mean, a 7 ERA is just awful. So looking at the draft again this year, not great. We did get a 70 overall catcher who has an incredible power bat, but no contact, no vision, no clutch, no nothing. Really good fielder as well, switch hitter, but only 79 potential. We did get a 21-year-old starter with 97 potential, 66 overall. Looks like he'll be really, really good. And then down here, we got a 92 potential catcher and a 92 potential starter, but they're 18 years old. It's going to be a while before they reach that potential. And looking at contract extensions, this is difficult. Carter Jensen has another year of arbitration. He's has a OPS below 700, so that's a bit rough. There's Jack Caglione, who's been still awful in the bigs in limited playing time this year. Do we try and re-sign Hunter Green? Because Hunter Brown's here long-term, Mackenzie Gore's here long-term, Bubich is here long-term. I think we let Hunter Green walk just because we have so many starters as prospects that are coming up, and we use that money instead to bring back Brandon Lowe for a few more years, and then also bring back Urseg, 2 years, 21 mil. And then Holton, how's he been this year? Been good. How much does he want to come back? 6 mil for 5 years, I'll do that. Jose Suarez, been all right. We'll see in the offseason, but we're going to move on from there. And we're just going to simulate the rest of the season and see how we do. We're currently 18 up in the Central, so we're going to make the playoffs. The question is just, do we win 100 games? What's our seeding? Do we get the bye and all that? All right, end of season 4. We won 106 games, by far our best season. We won the division for the 4th year in a row. Let's go take a look at how everyone did this year. Trent Grisham as the leadoff man was incredible again. 140 games, 36 doubles, 35 homers, a 282 average, 370 on base, 902 OPS, 7.2 WAR out in center. Bobby Witt Jr., another phenomenal year for him. 156 games, 47 doubles, 35 homers, 94 RBIs, 19 stolen bases, a 295 average, 909 OPS, 8.4 WAR. He's almost at 50 career WAR at age 28, which is insane. Also was another all-star appearance for him this year. Brandon Lowe was really good. 141 games, 27 doubles, 43 homers, 99 RBIs, a 275 average, 913 OPS, 3.5 WAR. Vinny Pasquantino, not as good as last year, but still pretty good. 162 games as a DH, 34 homers, a 240 average, 320 on base, 765 OPS, 0.4 WAR. Michael Garcia, hit 295. He did regress a good bit, down from 86 to an 84 at just 29 years old. 142 games, 32 doubles, 21 homers, 24 stolen bases, a 295 average, 854 OPS, and 6.1 WAR. So he regressed even though he had a really, really good season, better than he was last year. Was an all-star again for the 4th time in his career. Not sure I understand all that. Gavin Sheets regressed down from an 83 to an 81, 146 games, 22 doubles, 15 homers, 260 average, 724 OPS, and negative WAR. So dang. So looks like we're going to be replacing first base again this year. Victor Pereira went up from a 79 to an 82. He's been killing it. 139 games out and right, 26 doubles, 15 homers, a 276 average, 800 OPS, 3.4 WAR. Carter Jensen behind the plate actually went up from an 85 to an 87. Played all 162, 37 doubles, 20 homers, a 238 average, 738 OPS, 2.9 WAR. Jack Caglione got a little bit of playing time, went up from an 82 to an 85. Played in 64 games, hit 10 homers, 679 OPS, 0.4 WAR. Isaac Collins played in 105 games for us, had a 240 average, 692 OPS. Looking at the rotation, Hunter Brown did a lot better in the second half of the season, although he did regress from a 97 down to a 96 at age 30. 20 wins on the year, 189 innings, 210 Ks, a 3.66 ERA, so very good season for him. Hunter Green did all right, 172 innings, 195 strikeouts, but a 4.24 ERA is a little bit high. Kenzie Gore, his best year as a Royal so far, 179 innings, 178 Ks, 3.47 ERA is nice to see. Chris Bubich with another really good year, and Stephen Kolek was really good as the 5th starter, which is nice to see. Noah Cameron was awful. Suarez was a good pickup. Daniel Lynch continues to just absolutely dominate as a reliever for us, just getting better and better. And then Tyler Holton was really good, and then Lucas Ursig, another really good season as our closer. He's now over 200 career saves for us. What happened to Matt Strom? He was on the roster to start the year. Did he regress a bunch more? He did pitch in 56 games, and he pitched very well, although he is now regressed down to a 62 overall. League leaders, Hunter Brown led in win percentage, wins, and Lucas Ursig led in saves. Awards, Lucas Ursig gets Delivery Man of the Year. Hunter Brown gets AL Cy Young. Is this the first time Ursig has won Reliever of the Year? Yeah, it is, which is impressive. All right, 5-game set here against the Blue Jays in the ALDS. Hunter Brown against Tarek Skubal. Game 1, we lose 4-0. Hunter Green against Dylan Cease in Game 2, we win 11-1. Going to Toronto now for 2 games. Mackenzie Gore against Treya Savage, we win 9-4. Chris Bubich against Tarek Skubal to move on to the ALCS, and we win it 13-1. Let's go. We're moving on, and we're facing the Red Sox here in the ALCS. We've got Hunter Brown on the bump against Garrett Crochet in Game 1 of the ALCS. We win it 8-3. Wait, why is it wanting to throw Hunter Brown again? It shouldn't. Try it now. Now we got Hunter Green on the bump against Ranger Suarez here in Game 2. We win that 15-1. We're up 2-0 going to Boston. Kenzie Gore against Peyton Tolley. We lose 10-1. A lot of blowouts in this series so far. Chris Bubich against Connolly Early. We lose 4-3, so they are able to tie up the series. Big time Game 5. Hunter Brown against Garrett Crochet. We lose 6-3, so we get swept in Boston. Coming back for 2 games at home. Got to win both. Hunter Green against Ranger Suarez. We win 4-3. Kenzie Gore against Peyton Tolley to try to move on Game 7 of the ALCS, and we win it 8-5, and we're moving on to the World Series, and we'll be facing the Arizona Diamondbacks. Let's see who they have. For Arizona, they still have Ketel Marte still kicking around. He hit 32 homers this year. He's still playing amazing. You've got Corbin Carroll in his prime. He's doing what he does. Very, very good player. You have Shane Bieber, who's on a great run here in these playoffs. Jack Flaherty still kicking at 33. Gabriel Moreno, Perdomo, Justin Martinez is the closer, and that ERA in the playoffs not good. Brendan Donovan, Corbin Burns is still here. Okay, Ryan O'Hearn, interesting. Very good team. Very, very good team. So we're gonna have Chris Bubich in Game 1 here against Shane Bieber. We lose 5-4. Hunter Brown against Jack Flaherty Game 2. We win 6-4. So 1-1 going to Arizona for 3 games. Hunter Green, who's been phenomenal in these playoffs against Corbin Burns, we win 9-4. Kenzie Gore, who's been struggling in these playoffs against Taylor Mall, we win 6-4. So we're up 3-1. 1 win away from a World Series for the Kansas City Royals. Can Chris Bubich, who's been here throughout these entire rebuild. All right, Cole Reagans was going to be the ace. He didn't pan out. We got rid of him. Chris Bubich has been the homegrown ace for us. Can he do it against Shane Bieber? No, he can't. He sucks. 3-1, we lose that one. Coming back, Hunter Brown, he's the guy. He's the ace. He's the guy we went out and paid $40 million a year for. Is he going to get us a World Series at home? And he does. 5-1, we win it. The Kansas City Royals won 106 games and a World Series championship. Awards: Michael Garcia gets World Series MVP and Victor Pereira gets playoff MVP. He had a great ALCS. He was phenomenal for us. I mean, you look at the lineup, I mean, we got guys that, we kind of kept the core together. Bobby Witt, Vinny Pasquantino, Michael Garcia, Carter Jensen, that was the core of this team, and we really did keep it together. We drafted Pereira. He was phenomenal. He's going to go on to have a great career. We brought in Gavin Sheets so that Pasquantino could move into DH, which is where he fit a little bit better. Second base was something we kind of fiddled around with the first few years. We finally got Brandon Lowe in that trade. Trent Grisham was a great free agent signing for us. So yeah, and then really we spent all our money on pitching with Hunter Green, Mackenzie Gore, and Hunter Brown. We did keep Bubich throughout, and it paid off for us, and we are able to get ourselves a World Series. That's going to do it for this video, y'all. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave it a like, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of our future content. Like I said earlier, we are going to have more rebuilds. I plan on getting back to streaming Angels franchise soon, hopefully, and then also Backyard Baseball and the Japanese baseball game are both coming out, so we're gonna have content on those. So thank you all again so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.